Hello, my name is Sarah Simon, and I'm the Mint Gardener. I'm an artist, a painter, a watercolorist, an author, and I just love to play. So, welcome to my garden, to my inspiration of all of my florals. Today, we're going to be playing with a foxglove. They have such unique, beautiful petals, and contrary to being in the Pacific Northwest with all those moody greens and blues, I love using color. So, this My Mary paint was such a delight to play with all of these beautiful Princeton brushes, and I wanted to show you a few of my favorite tricks with a brush. So this is what I call the point pressure point. You can see I'm making contact with the tip of my brush to my paper, increasing my pressure, and then decreasing it right at the end, hence point pressure point. The color that I'm playing with is the green gold with just a touch of that ultramarine. You can see with your brush, you can add that wet and wet, increase that color saturation. You can make fine marks, thicker marks, all by pulling down with your brush. But also, when you switch that brush and start pulling up, the marks can change and become even more fluid and interesting. So same with your 3/4 inch brush. Generally you pull down. However, I wanted to introduce you to this fun little trick I discovered that makes a perfect foxglove floret, one of those individual blooms. So it's kind of a heel toe pressure. Notice my hand has switched positions. I'm holding the brush at that secondary angle. Instead of pulling down, I'm pulling up. And it's a heel toe motion, which you can easily make a mark, a nice, beautiful wash, layer it with these incredible transparent colors, and just keep going and layering. Here I've got the quinacridone lake. It's that really vibrant, purpley red pink with a little bit of the yellow cadmium deep. And I'm going to use both of those on my favorite type of palette, which happens to be a dinner plate. And there's a little bit of water on that plate palette. And I'm just going to start right in the center of my Saunders watercolor paper. Of course, beautiful cotton paper, lovely cold press texture. And I'm just going to continue to make that heel toe motion in the fun overlapping floret shapes that are quintessential foxglove. All right. Generally, when you hang out with a lot of foxgloves, you start to notice that the grouping of florets or the flower blooms are thicker in the center. And then when you get to the top, you can use just the edge of your 3/4 wash or perhaps your round 8 that comes in that Velvet Touch series, and you can make smaller marks with the smaller bristles. Now, I am using a few colors on that top palette plate. You can see there's a little bit of ultramarine and green gold, and of course, Payne's Gray, one of my other favorite colors. And I'm just making marks, adding that green stem and all the leafy, gorgeous texture secondary. Now I go stalk by stalk and I add the green in after I've got all those lovely florets moving and shining on my page. You can add multiple layers and they can overlap because watercolor is so incredible in that transparency. Now I'm taking my round 4 and I've come back for a second layer, a glaze layer, that wet on dry, and I'm just increasing that color density and saturation. Now my consistency on my palette is about 50% water, 50% paint. I like to say it's like the heavy cream in my coffee that I like to drink. And I'm adding kind of that darker layer plus a few little dots inside the actual floret to make each one its own beautiful little masterpiece. You can add that yellow and then drop in that deeper pink just to have that beautiful watercolor bleed happening on each of the individual petals. By using your rounds and that beautiful flat brush, you're able to make these shapes quickly and really wow with your foxgloves.